What's going on, guys? Raul here, bringing you guys another update, and this is going to be an update for the month of June. I haven't been up to too much lately, just this whole COVID mess, honestly, has been limiting me mostly to just work, band practice, and speaking of band practice, it actually sucks because a week before the whole COVID, shutdown thing happened, we actually had bought all of our equipment like the week before that, and I asked this guy in my town who does shows in his backyard if we could play there, and he said, yeah, definitely. And then the week after all this happened, the whole COVID thing really took over, so that was definitely a bummer. So at the moment, we've just been mostly just practicing and recording, really. That's all we've been doing, really. So once we actually get the recording done on YouTube, I'll definitely make a channel for it, and I'll leave a link for you guys to go check it out. So that's how that goes. Anyways, right now it's going to be like 107 degrees Fahrenheit today. I actually checked out the Celsius, and it was probably about, I think it was like 41 degrees Celsius how it's going to be today. You know, we use Fahrenheit here in the States, like it or not. Anyways, let's get on to the album. First album I'm going to show you guys here, it's going to be Suicidal Tendencies' debut album. I'm not too sure what year this album came out in. Let me see. Does it say here? Yes, 1983, Suicidal Tendencies' debut album. Nice little orange record right here. Let me show you. I'm not too crazy on the whole orange, but it's nice to have a little bit of variety in your collection. So, I think this is a great album for you to listen to if you're like a metal guy trying to get into punk. Because honestly, as far as punk goes, I like punk, but I'm just not really crazy about it. Like, I definitely just prefer metal over punk. But this song, and a lot of people would even describe Suicidal Tendencies as crossover, which they are crossover. But this first album definitely is a lot more punk, honestly. I wouldn't really call this a crossover album. Some people might, though. There's some really good songs on here, like what? I Shot the Devil, Subliminal, obviously Institutionalized. What else? I Saw Your Mommy, Suicidal Failure, fantastic album. I actually saw this band about a year ago. Yeah, about this time last year, I saw Suicidal Tendencies. They killed it. The mosh pit gets crazy. Yo, honestly, the mosh pit gets crazier when all the 40-year-old, when all the older guys get in there. It gets super crazy. But yeah, Suicidal Tendencies, their debut album. Definitely check it out if you're into punk rock, which honestly, I mean, who hasn't heard of this band, really? But if you're trying to get a lot more into punk, this is definitely a great, starting point into the genre. Check it out. So this next album I'm going to show you guys here, you guys know this one. Heavy metal essential, to be honest. Iron Maiden's Power Slave from 1984. I believe this was their fourth studio album. Alright, so their debut was obviously their self-titled, then Killers, Number of the Beast, and I think Power Slave is their fourth one, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Fantastic album. This one definitely, I feel like they get a lot more experimental in this one. I was listening to it last week. Fantastic album. I would definitely say it's either Number of the Beast or Power Slave for my favorite Iron Maiden record. We got Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, The Duelist. What else? Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, Power Slave. Honestly, I don't really think there's a bad track on this album. And honestly, I just love the cover art. We got this nice little shot of the band right here. I saw Iron Maiden about September last year. I really should have taken a video of that whole thing and put it on YouTube, kind of like I did with the Suicidal Tendencies concert. But it is what it is. Fantastic album, though. It's just standard black vinyl. The record sleeve is in, I don't want to say it's beat up, but it's definitely seen better days. Got this one from my record store for probably about $12. There's some pretty decent prices on records right there. I'm not even going to bother to put it back in right now just because the little record sleeve thingy is a bit flimsy right now, so I'm just going to put it back in when the video's over. But yeah, fantastic album, guys. I'm pretty sure most of you guys already have this album in your collection. I definitely need to get more Iron Maiden. At the moment, I only have Killers, Number of the Beast, and this one right here. And you know what? I've definitely been digging them a whole lot more. they've really been inspirational to a lot of the songs I've been writing. My band, we do mostly thrash metal, but we definitely add elements of traditional metal, and not just traditional metal, but we definitely do a little bit of like power metal, black metal, death metal. But for the most part, we're a thrash band with like a traditional vibe. But enough of my band. This is Iron Maiden we're talking about. If you, for any reason, don't have this album, get it. Alright guys, this next album I'm going to show you here is 2020's, this year's album, Warbringer's Weapons of Tomorrow. Fantastic thrash metal band. If you don't know Warbringer, they're a newer thrash band. Well, I don't want to say they're new. They've been around since 2004, so they've been around for 16 years. So they're definitely not a new band, but you know, they're definitely part of like the new wave of thrash metal. Neo thrash is what they call it. I'd just rather call it the new wave of thrash. Awesome album. Honestly, I wasn't crazy about it. Like, it's a good album, definitely not bad, but I wasn't crazy about it. I mostly just like to support new bands, you know, playing the old school styles. But there definitely are some songs worth checking out here. Firepower Kills. What else? My favorite song was Heart of Darkness, track number 6. It definitely has more of like a black metal vibe to it. And that's something I really like about the newer bands. It's that they borrow elements from so many other genres of metal. You know, because they could like definitely... They still play thrash. They definitely still thrash around in this album. But for the most part, they also like dive into other territories of metal that, you know what, I'm pretty glad they do. Because if you're just playing just straight up music that sounds exactly like Metallica, it's probably not gonna make that big of an impact nowadays. Nowadays, you kind of have to get a little experimental with your music if you're going to be playing the older styles. But pretty good album overall. Definitely will be giving it more listen-tos. I definitely like the cover art. I definitely need to buy more stuff by Warbringer. I know their album, Woad to the Vanquished, came out a while ago. But if you haven't heard of Warbringer and you like thrash metal, definitely go check it out. Support the new bands, guys. So the next album I'm going to show you guys here is 1989's, I believe. Yeah, it doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it's 89. For sure late 80s, early 90s, like old school death metal right here. Dismembers, damn, what was it called? Like an Ever-Flowing Stream. It's been a while since I listened to this one, but it was just an awesome album the first few times I listened to it. After a while, I was kind of like, alright, it's a pretty good album. Definitely wasn't, you know... The first couple times I heard it, I liked it more than, you know, recently now that I'm listening to it. But then again, that's probably because I listened to it so much that, you know, that's how you know an album's good, when you get bored of it, because you listen to it so many times. And even better albums are the ones that you listen to just as much and you're still not tired of it. But yeah, honestly, I couldn't really name any of the songs. I mean, they're obviously right here. But for the most part, I just listen to music in the car. And while I'm driving, I'm obviously not checking like, oh, what's the name of this song? I'm definitely just keeping my hands on the wheels, eyes forward, you know, that kind of stuff, as you should. Anyways, yeah, for the most part, I mostly buy CDs and cassettes, mostly because I like to listen to my music in the car. That's the main place I listen to music at. And, you know, I'll still buy LPs. I actually haven't bought that many tapes either. I gotta get back into that. But anyways, back to this album. This album is relentless. Definitely one of the best old school death metal cover arts. That's the one thing I do really like about old school death metal. Their cover arts were always just super colorful, really nice looking. These guys are from Sweden, I believe. They're definitely a European band. And this is definitely one of my favorite old school death metal albums right here. I definitely want to buy this shirt. That would be a fucking awesome looking shirt. But yeah, if you're trying to get into more old school death metal, definitely check out Dismember. You cannot go wrong. Like an ever-flowing stream. Fantastic album. Alright guys, so the next album I'm going to show you guys here is 1996's Secret of the Black Arts by Dark Funeral. I actually listened to this album about 2 weeks ago maybe, and it's still an awesome black metal album. These guys are from Sweden, just like Dismember. There's a nice little shot of the band back here. Yeah, I actually bought this album around this time last year. See what I mean? For a while I was making videos. Yeah, and the rest of the albums I'm going to show you guys here are CDs. But my favorite song on here was track number 3, My Dark Desires. Honestly, this album has such a really, really nice vibe. Honestly, this band gets a lot of hate, Dark Funeral, for a few reasons. Well, one, I mean, from this album, anyways, this is the only album I've listened to, but on this album, a lot of the songs do have, I don't want to say they sound the same, but they definitely do have that same vibe, which honestly, I'm cool with it, because that vibe, I do like it very much. It's definitely, it's obviously black metal, but it's not really like super super raw. Like the production, it's not clean. It's obviously still raw because it's black metal, but it's definitely a little cleaner than other black metal albums. What do we got in here? CD right here. Also, another thing people just talk shit about Dark Funeral about is that their lyrics are just nothing but just Satan talk. Because a lot of like black metal, like third wave, second wave, or third wave black metal bands, they mostly just sing about like mythology or nature, I guess. I'm not sure. And these guys, they mostly just sing about, you know, the same shit Venom or early Bathory would sing about, just Satan and hell and stuff. But yeah, overall, fantastic album. Definitely an awesome 90s black metal album right here. And this was actually probably the most expensive CD I have in my collection. I was looking for it all over the place on eBay, Amazon. I couldn't find it for a decent price. The lowest price I could find it for was maybe like $25. So yeah, it's definitely one of the more expensive CDs in my collection. Definitely worth it though. Check them out, Dark Funeral. Alright guys, so for the next album I'm going to show you guys here is what's playing in the background, Dark Medieval Times by Satyricon. Honestly, this is a really, really awesome black metal album. If you're trying to get into black metal, well, if you're first trying to get into black metal, I definitely suggest Dark Funeral over this band. This album definitely is a bit more raw than, you know, other black metal albums I have. I don't have like a crazy amount of black metal albums. I probably, all in all, I probably got about 10, 12 at most. So definitely not a whole lot, but this is definitely up there in terms of black metal for me. Fantastic stuff. Some good songs to check out here are the first song, Walk the Path of Sorrow. It's a pretty long song, but it's about 8 minutes long, I think, but it's a fantastic song, Dark Medieval Times. And for the most part, I don't check on the names of the songs because, like I was saying, I drive around most of the time when I'm listening to music. And also in the back, there's no, like, names of songs. It's all right here, so yeah, it is what it is. That's what I mean by it. I can't really always name a lot of the songs. I know them mostly by, like, track number rather than, like, their actual name. So I should probably definitely sit down and, like, listen to the music. And there's no lyrics on this either, so I have no idea what the hell they're saying for the most part. But yeah, really, really good black metal. I don't want to say it's, like, super heavy. Well, no, obviously it's heavy, it's black metal, but it's definitely less heavier than other black metal albums, but it's more so, I don't want to say experimental, but I guess just more artistic than other black metal albums. You know, a lot of like soft acoustic-y parts like this part. Yeah, stuff like that on this album. You'll get lots of that here. So definitely check them out though, Satyricon. I know a lot of you guys probably have heard of this band. You know, this is definitely one of the bigger black metal bands. But yeah, check them out if you haven't though, Satyricon. Alright guys, so this is going to be the last album I'm going to show you guys here, and that's 1996's Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness by the Smashing Pumpkins. Now, I have not listened to this album in months, and for a good reason. This album is like 2 hours long. Ain't nobody got time for that. 2 hours long. It's like, alright, there's some good songs, a lot of it's filler in my opinion. But there definitely are some songs worth checking out. I mean, what, we have the obvious Tonight Tonight, Zero, Bullet with Butterfly Wings. What else? My favorite song, though, was Porcelina of the Vast Oceans. It's a 2-disc set right here. Nice little booklet right here. A lot of nice little, like, artwork like that. This album definitely is very experimental. I would still definitely call it grunge, though. The Smashing Pumpkins, I always just regard them as a grunge band. Nice little shot of the band. Yeah, basically when I'm not listening to metal, I'm listening to like a lot of like 90s alternative, you know, like Nirvana, Alice in Chains. A lot of grunge for the most part. Occasionally I will listen to a little bit of pop punk here and there. For the most part, just grunge and metal for me. And on a separate sheet, we have the lyrics right here. So yeah, honestly, I might give it another shot though, because I definitely do appreciate like the super artistic experimental approach in most of the songs, but like I said, 2 hours long though, like damn. But yeah, I mean, this album, as far as I know, is a classic. I have the shirt as well, and honestly, I like Siamese Dreams more, mostly because it's not 2 hours long, and all the songs are like actually good. But you know what? Maybe I'm just not appreciating this album as much as I should. So I'll definitely be giving it more spins. Hopefully not too many. Or hopefully, I'll really, really like all the songs, but you know the feeling when you're listening to an album and you kind of just wanted to get to your favorite songs and stuff. Yeah, it's like this, but it's like 2 hours maybe of like filler and a few good songs here and there. But you know what? Maybe I am being too harsh on this album. Maybe I do need to go back and give it more listen tos. Anyways, though, yeah, Smashing Pumpkins. I doubt you haven't heard of this band, but if you haven't, definitely check them out. Especially their second album, Siamese Dreams. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please smash that like button if you liked it. Leave a comment. I read all the comments. I try to get to all of them as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day, guys.